Hey guys, so give it a few minutes for people to roll in, considering that we're about 8 hours late or something like that. I don't know, somewhere in that vicinity. So let's give it a few minutes. Anybody that's out there wants to give me a sound check, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the sound check. Appreciate it. Just trying to pull up my little cheat sheet here with all my topics. It's been a long day, guys. Jesus. Quite the day. All right, where are we? I may be talking to myself here. I'm actually, throughout this entire thing, I usually am, for lack of a better term, talking to myself. But just trying to find, here we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, well, who knew Montenegro internet? It's probably because it's, almost 12, almost midnight here. The only people that are online are doing something they shouldn't be. So not a lot of traffic. What's up, Jet Fuel? Bendik. I am in Montenegro. I'm outside of a town called Tivat. I'm in front of a bay, I think, called Lustrica Bay, I think is what it's called. Yeah, I actually, so I have my, as everybody knows, my CoinMetro shirt, which I literally wear these, I don't have time for pajamas or whatever, but, sometimes. But yeah, I literally am wearing pajamas. So I give you guys all a sneak peek here, see? So there you go. So that just made everybody's day, I'm sure. But yeah, it's almost midnight, guys. So yeah, I was gonna go pantsless, to be quite honest, but I figured then something would happen and I have to get up. Somebody would knock on the door, and then World War III would break out or something. Yeah, no pink nails. I didn't travel with my nail polish, so yeah, definitely not a penthouse suite. That's for sure. This is a studio. I mean, it's not bad, but it's a studio. It is on a hill though, so it's actually on the bottom floor of the building on top of the hill. So kind of makes up for the bottom floor nonsense. All right, let's see here, guys. What do we got going on? All right, so I think we're going to jump right into it because gave everybody a few minutes here to get in. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post really quick before we kick off here this same link into our update channels. Let's see, just so that everybody can't complain that they weren't alerted. Not as an elegant as an update as our marketing guys do, but anyway, done. So let's give them another 2 minutes. So if you guys have questions you want to throw out, feel free, and then we'll get started in 2 minutes. Montenegro. So I'm in Montenegro for an event, which I helped organize the first day of. I'll put it up here. There you go. Futurama Summit. So I'm going to be moderating 2 panels, and then sitting on another 2, I think, for 2 days. And then we're going to do a little bit of networking, a little bit of investor relations, and yeah. So yeah, that's it. It's going to be filmed. It's supposed to be part of a Netflix documentary that's going to come out about crypto. I think either in December or January. So be on the lookout for that on Netflix. Yeah, I don't know, among the 95,000 other things that they spend money on. But hopefully it gets done. They've already filmed in different events, different crypto events. They filmed at offices. They've done a lot of stuff already. This will be one of the last pieces of the documentary, and then they'll go into post-production or whatever. And then I guess sometimes towards the end of the year, they'll be finished. How much time does the implementation of tokenomics take, do you think? You mean from our side, like when we're going to implement our own tokenomics, our full tokenomics? Well, what was talked about in the white paper on our side is a few days work. But obviously, in order to go to the full extent of the tokenomics, we need to launch all of our products, because as we launch more products, and there's a few in the pipeline that have rather unique tokenomics around them. So, if we continue to launch products, and not just that are in the white paper, but just products in general until 2023, well, then guess what? We would still be kind of revamping that tokenomics model until 2023, et cetera. So my point is to say that the base tokenomics could take 2 or 3 days. That's basically converting all fees to XCM. And that's on the list right now. I have a to-do list from our devs. Not everything is scheduled yet, but there's about 12 core things. One of those core things is doing just that. Yeah, I had a great talk with someone yesterday in London, the CEO of a very well-known brand based out of the UK. He's going to fly into Tallinn on the 29th. So that's one of the new ones. We have an investor in Poland that we're looking to finalize. That could be a larger ticket. This particular one from the UK is definitely a larger size ticket. I'm going to meet 3 different investors that we've been courting with another project here in Montenegro called Montenova, which is an MTF licensed exchange. It's going to launch here that we're going to play a critical role with. So we've been courting these guys for a bit now, and we're going to meet them. I'm finally going to meet them in person, and we're going to do some pitching. So we'll see how that goes as well. Snap. Right now we're working on a couple things in tandem. So that's the combining, basically revamping the intermediate trade interface to 100% full revamp, as well as combining trade and margin, and then a little bit of renaming on those platforms. Also working on the GUI for margin posting, so people can post margin into a book, and people can take that margin and trade on leverage, higher leverage, through the margin trading platform, obviously. All those things are kind of being worked on in tandem. We also have our IEO-like setup, which is also being worked on from an admin standpoint, and also from a tech standpoint. We're also working with a company called Paybook on getting some of our APIs linked into their infrastructure. So a few things going on. All those are kind of going on in tandem, along with a few other things with our KYC module, et cetera, all happening in tandem. I think the first thing that you guys are going to probably see is probably going to be margin posting. Actually, I think that margin marketplace is probably the first big announcement we'll make, and API as well, our fixed API launch. So that's also being worked on as well. Yeah, I didn't want to paint. I mean, to be honest, I'd go on stage with pink nails. No problem. No shame. No shame in my game. But I just didn't pack my nail polish. I only have one bottle of nail polish, and I didn't want to lose it. And I think it was 110 milliliters, guys. So they would have taken it from me anyway. Yeah, Fergus, we talked to these guys from the beginning almost, and I think we may still look into that. Yes, the fact that they purchased a piece of MoneyGram now means that they may need us less than they needed us before. They may need all their partners less. It all depends on how that integration goes. But yeah, it's still something that I'm going to reach out back to the guys probably over the next few months. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, Libra. Yeah. We'll talk about that at one point today, guys. Let's not do it yet. Have you seen many uptake on the margin or increased signals signups? Yes, we've seen increased signups, double the amount of signups we saw the month before so far, and that was since maybe a week ago or something. So it may have it's obviously been more now. We might see 3 times as many signups this month than we did last month. And yes, look, even Ambassador, all these things are picking up. Things pick up slowly, guys. I don't expect a massive boom one day to the next. What I want to see, I don't even want to see that. Just like in price, guys, when you see a price of an asset go from 20x in a few days, that means it's going to correct, and probably really hard. And the same thing with a business, right? I'd rather see nice, steady growth, nice bell curve all the way up, and we're starting to see that. So I'm excited about that. And anyway, let's get into the news, guys. Then we'll jump into Kevin Explains Crypto. And then after that, so 10 minutes on the news, Kevin Explains Crypto. We'll jump back into the AMA. We'll talk about the Libra and all this other. I'm sure a lot of questions about the Libra. So we're definitely. I know a lot of news wanted to be submitted about Libra, and we kind of kept it out so that we could have a little segment about it. And I think I might do Kevin's top 10 today, and it's going to be the top 10 reasons I hate fucking Gatwick Airport because that was my day today. But we'll handle that later. All right, so let's jump in. Just give me a second, guys. I gotta get WhatsApp here on my. computer because I have to pass somebody the keys to this to their room, and somebody that's also at the conference, and they're not here yet. They're going to send me a WhatsApp when they're on their way. So okay, cool. All right, so let's jump into this. Let's open up the old news file here. Yeah, hey Axel. Hey, Axel said he was going to stay up for the top 10. You know, it's like almost 1 a.m. in Estonia, so good on you, Axel, for staying up. Top 10's coming. Top 10 reasons I hate fucking Gatwick Airport will be the top 10. This is not, you know, I didn't pre-write this stuff down. It just kind of popped into my head. That's how my day was. So anyway, we'll fill in the blanks when we get there. So market news, guys. We have 10 little tidbits of market news. I'm going to try to spend less than 1 minute on each, 10 minutes total. It's where I'm sitting right now. It is 10:4. Oh, it's only 10:48 here. No, it's 11:48. Yeah, it's 11:48 p.m. 11:49 p.m. So let's see if we can get this in 10 minutes. Here we go. Number 1 on the list of 10. Digitex has new developers and plans on becoming a DAO. Yeah, I think we talked about this actually in a maybe last week before. I don't remember. Yeah, Jesus, when did we talk about this actually? Anyway, we talked about this at one point. It was about, actually, no, I think we talked about a DAO in terms of somebody wanted to launch a DAO exchange, I think, because they thought it would mitigate the risk, they would mitigate risk because of regulation, which they won't. I think, I'm trying to think here. Sorry, guys, long day. So great, becoming a DAO. Look, the DAO concept has been around for a while. Nobody's really conquered that concept yet. Maybe these guys can do it. I doubt it. The problem with it is that there's so many things there that need to be kind of updated the way things currently work in you know, setting up a business, setting up an entity, setting up whatever, even a trust, even all these things require paperwork and killing trees and all this good stuff. And I think there is a future for DAO, maybe not for DAO, but for something like DAO, which is an organization that's autonomous, you know, built into the blockchain. I think that's going to happen. I think it's a little too early though, but somebody's got to put their toe in the water and fuck up so everybody else can learn from it. So hats off to Digitex for that. Number 2, Binance launching several crypto peg tokens on the Binance chain. Yep, saw that. Obviously, Binance is trying to pull as much volume they can on their own chain. So obviously, there's a lot of volume that goes into Bitcoin and Ethereum, for example. So they're trying to make pegged copies on their own blockchain. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this, to be quite honest. I'd rather have those stay where they're supposed to be. You're creating a derivative, basically. They're not licensed to, again, another thing Binance is doing that kind of just flips the middle finger at the regulator. But anyway, they do whatever they want, so it doesn't matter. But I'm not sure I like this. I get the reasoning, but I think it's kind of probably going to backfire. It'll probably pick up some volume though for them initially. They'll make a little bit of money like they do doing everything else. We'll see how time prevails though. Number 3 on a list of 10, Ripple will be investing up to $50 million to acquire stakes in MoneyGram, leading remittance provider. Yep, I just mentioned this already actually. So 50 million is not much in the grand scope of things. But yeah, obviously Ripple's main business model has kind of come out to be basically remittance. X-Rapid is basically remittance. It underpins remittance. So hooking up with someone in the remittance business makes sense. They've been trying to roll out X-Rapid to many different regions. I tried to get them to roll it out in the Baltics. They were excited about it, and then they stopped calling me back. Obviously, they got busy, but I think that this is a strategic move on their part so they can get more deeper in the remittance before Libra comes out. That's it. So we'll see who wins the race. Obviously, Facebook, I think, probably has more active users, at least concurrent, like active users as in people that use the service more than once and continue to use it than MoneyGram does. But we'll see how it happens. We'll see how it plays out over the next few months. Number 4 on the list 10, Binance CEO says Facebook Libra needs no KYC. Experts say coin offers no investment value. So obviously, the person you should when you want to talk about KYC in the crypto space, or AML or sanction screening, you know, any of this real compliance related topics, the person you should obviously speak to is the Binance CEO because he does it so well. Having said that, he says it doesn't need KYC. He's actually halfway correct. The token itself doesn't need KYC. The wallet does, according to basically every of OFAC, FAFT, and lots of other foreign 3-letter organizations around the world. Eventually, all wallet onboarding systems, if they want to be whitelisted, will have KYC built in. Libra isn't crypto. It's not coming to take over Bitcoin. It's them basically tokenizing their internal ecosystem to basically benefit from monetizing pieces of the ecosystem they haven't been able to monetize, being able to run analytics and do different things inside of that ecosystem they can't currently do. It's going to give them a lot more feedback, and they're basically going to create an ecosystem where other members will love to come in and pay 10 million each to run a node, because they will be able to benefit off of probably the billions of dollars that are going to be housed within that centralized ecosystem. So it's not going to do anything for crypto. It's not going to make crypto worse or better. It will bring some eyes to crypto, people that will come in and buy the Libra and then exchange it on some decentralized exchange or some exchange that lists it, maybe get into Bitcoin. I don't think the effect is going to be all that good, but it's definitely not going to be bad either. So don't get your panties in a bunch. Number 5 on the list of 10, so Changpeng Zhao will not hold any legal title or play any operational role in Binance US. Yeah, of course not. There's a thing in the US called fit and proper, and something that he would not pass. Not only that, but Binance US is not Binance. Binance US is a FINRA registered company that is white labeling Binance's tech and licensing the name. It's kind of like the Hilton Hotel or whatever. They're not all owned by Hilton. Somebody just builds a hotel and pays the money and they use the name. And that's exactly what this is. So obviously he's going to play no role. They're using the Binance name, just like Binance Liechtenstein, Uganda, whatever. These aren't Binance controlled properties. These are controlled by third parties. And number 6 on the list of 10, CoinMarketCap unveils major changes to rankings and listings. Good. I saw some of the changes. I didn't read all of them. Some of them make no sense to me. I don't think they provide absolutely any more insight into whether volumes of things are rigged or not. But outside of that, I think they're going generally in the right direction, and eventually we're going to get there. I don't think it's going to be CoinMarketCap that actually cleans up the data. I think it's going to be somebody else. But I think CoinMarketCap is showing that next company that's going to roll in. And it's probably going to be someone that already controls a lot of data in other markets. Think your Bloombergs, think your Reuters, I think these kinds of companies. And they're basically giving them a nice little manual that they'll be able to follow. So when they roll in, they crush real fast. Number 7 on list of 10, PwC launches software for auditing cryptocurrency transactions. Actually, local PwCs have been doing this for quite some time. PwC in Estonia has been auditing cryptocurrency transactions for quite some time. Hats off to Preet Lot at PwC. So yeah, look, all these auditing firms, obviously with all these bigger players and smaller players and the market cap growing, well, they need to audit them, right? Well, why do they need to audit them? Well, taxes due, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna. Okay, so actually someone's going to come to pick up some keys in probably about 15 minutes. So I probably won't shut it down in 15 minutes, but you guys might have to wait for me. You're going to see an empty screen for a few minutes. I hope that's all right. Let me see, go back to this. Number 8 on the list of 10, guys. MetLife plans to disrupt 2.7 trillion life insurance industry using Ethereum blockchain. So there's already insurance on the blockchain. There's a couple companies doing it. MetLife's going to do it. They're not disrupting shit. Somebody else has already done it. But MetLife is bigger than most of the players that have already done it. So good on MetLife for being, 15th in the race. And we'll see how it shapes for them at the end of the day. Number 9 on the list of 10, Bank of America CEO, with the rise of cryptocurrencies, we want a cashless society. Yeah, of course they do. Just like all tax authorities and all governments would love to have cashless societies because they can trace every transaction that happens. Every person in power in the finance industry, for either good or bad reasons, would love to have a cashless society. So thank you, Bank of America CEO, for stepping out and, saying today's no shit Sherlock statement. He likes to have a cashless society. Well, thanks for that juicy bit of I don't know, news, but it's not really news. Get in the line, take a number. Number 10 on the list of 10, FATF to release new rules for global crypto sector impacting exchanges, funds, custodians. Doesn't impact all that much, as most people are saying. The travel rule, which basically says that you need to, what banks have already been doing for years, which is when one bank transfers money to another bank, they need to actually provide additional details to the other bank about who is actually moving that money. And they want exchanges and wallets and things like that. And anybody dealing with crypto to do the same thing. big fucking deal. Most of the companies that are already acting, at least as they should in the financial sector that deal in crypto, already can do this. They might not have been doing it, but they have the data, they have the way to transmit the data. Great. It's a great business opportunity for somebody who wants to create a nice little linking ledger that can, or these guys that do, KYC on the blockchain, or guys like like our friends in Estonia, who do this as well, with basically contracts and things like that in the blockchain. So all this data can be in the blockchain, it can be shared. Anyway, we'll get there at some point, hopefully in the near future. But it isn't as bad. Any time there is, let's say, some type of new compliance news, something new that's happening in the world of compliance or AML, everybody in crypto freaks out because they don't really know. They don't really know what it is, to be honest. To be honest, it's just, I don't even know the words for this one, to be honest. Maybe because it's late, I don't know, but they make a mountain out of a molehill. Let's put it that way. And the reason that happens is because, well, again, these guys don't come from a regulated market for most cases. Anytime they hear something's going to happen, they think it's going to take away privacy. It's going to take away this. Blockchain already took away privacy, guys. Default took away privacy. It's a public blockchain, public ledger. But these things are bound to happen. Hopefully one day we'll be able to reverse this, but until we can do that, this will happen. That's just the way, the world works, unfortunately. At least today, in this day and age, with all the different fear-based politics and governance that we have around the world, that's just the way things work. So unfortunately, we kind of have to deal with it. Okay, so let's just do Kevin Explains Crypto real quick here. So we have a rather difficult one to fully explain in a sentence, but I'm going to give it a shot. But today's phrase, I feel like I'm on Sesame Street or something, in Kevin Explains Crypto is delegated Byzantine fault tolerance. So yeah, nice one. To sum this up as easily as I possibly can, it's basically a algorithm, a rather, I guess, sophisticated one, a rather sophisticated algorithm that's meant to basically create, or I guess facilitate, consensus on a blockchain. So consensus is when you either have nodes or you have oracles, you have something on chain that basically verifies data. So if this comes onto the blockchain, and let's say all around there are nodes or oracles or proof of work, it could also be proof of work concept, whatever it is, somebody somewhere says, oh, that's a black remote control. The guy goes, yep, black remote control, yep, black remote control. Well, now we have consensus. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 10,000, 30,000 nodes or oracles or whatever that are confirming that this is exactly what it is, and that's called consensus. So Byzantine fault tolerance, delegated Byzantine fault tolerance, that's basically what it does. It helps facilitate consensus. It's not really in use. It's not all that common yet. It's an alternative to what's called proof of stake or proof of work. It's not yet, like I said, in mass use. We will probably get there. It's a little more difficult to put into play. Anyway, we will get there. It's still, I would probably say it's still a bit theoretical. So, there's that. But anyway, that's what it is. Hopefully that was a good enough explanation for everybody out there. All right, let's run into some AMA questions here. Yeah, the top 10. We're going to get it. Okay, so I don't really have 10 on the top of my head, guys, but the top 10 reasons I hate I was going to say LaGuardia. It's almost got the same airport code. And to be honest, LaGuardia and Gatwick, kind of similar in many ways. LaGuardia has been under construction since like 1847. And I think Gatwick's been under construction since 1848. So, constant construction. So I guess similar. But I guess number 10 on that list is definitely going to be well, I just hate the fucking airport. I'll give my story today. I'm going to tell my story today. So I got into a taxi. First of all, my head of legal was late. I'm sitting in his house. I was in London. I'm sitting in his house. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to leave at 8. I'm ready to roll. 8:04. It was a bit late, but 8:04. He's like, we have time. He's cutting watermelons. He's doing all this shit in his kitchen. He's like packing one article of clothing at a time, putting his toothbrush, going back in the bathroom for some soap, put the soap in, back to the bathroom, get like a shaver, puts that in there. Anyway, so we didn't get out till 8:45. We get in a taxi. We tell the guy we got to get to Gatwick Airport. We have a flight at 10:55. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, no problem. So we start going, and you know what happens? We get in traffic, and there's clearly ways you can get around traffic. Clearly ways. The guy stays in the lane with the most traffic. Then finally, we're like, could you pass somebody? Could you do something? He's like, all right, no problem. He's going 60. And I'm like, dude, could you go a little faster? Like literally, we have 40 miles to go. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get there on time. And he's like, well, the speed limit's 55. I'm already going 60. I'm like, so then go 70, bro. I mean, what's wrong with you? Anyway, I don't know if that directly has anything to do with LaGuardia, but Gatwick, but I just don't like the airport. But I think Axel mentioned the British Airways app. Shit, 100%. You know how long it takes to book a ticket? I was literally trying to book a ticket after we missed the flight on the British Airways app using like 55 different credit cards for roughly, I don't know, an hour. And it just kept, telling me, the price isn't available anymore. And then the price would go up a little bit, every time. But the seats were still there, but the price wasn't. Anyway, we'll get back to the top 10 in a bit, but let me roll on here. Any update on the status of future promos? Anything to make our ambassador lives easier? We're hustling hard out here. Violet Mouse. Yeah. Thanks for hustling. Obviously, you're kind of remunerated for that too. So, yeah, promos are coming, guys. Lots of news is going to come. Look, we don't want to release everything the same day. We're always trying to push new things out there. There will be announcements that are going to come over the next few weeks that'll be exciting. Maybe the end of this month. I guess it's going to be mid-July. Anyway, it's going to happen. And obviously, we want to make your guys' lives easier because the more we can make your guys' lives easier as ambassadors, the more clients come to us. The more clients come to us, the more money you guys make as ambassadors. The more money we make as a company helps us stabilize everything, helps us move forward, helps everybody get where they want to go. So, Ruben saying that Slockit nailed Dow years ago. Nailed is probably a good way to describe it, I guess. When new listings from David, when public API. So fixed API is coming, guys. It's in process, though it's probably about a 10-day job. And I don't think we're going to be able to focus on it until about mid-July. So probably end of July, more or less, for APIs. When wallets fix for circulating supply. That's actually basically in progress now. I think next week we may get to it. Hopefully, that's the goal. New listings, waiting on the bank on that one again, guys. So I guess I'm probably tomorrow. I'll send an update over to the bank, see what they have to say. But I'm thinking maybe next week we're gonna get some news. Yep, no problem, Nurox. I'm here. I said I was gonna do it, and I like to keep my word, even though sometimes maybe life gets ahead of you or whatever. But I am a man of my word. Sometimes I'm late, sometimes shit happens. Sometimes you get in a taxi that drives 40, but yeah, that's life. When XCM use for fees, that's coming as well. Again, volumes right now, to be honest, it would be a minimal burn and a minimal amount that will be generated in fees, but obviously that's going up on a daily and weekly and monthly basis. It's something that's also in that list that I mentioned at the top of the show. I think we have 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 different things in that list. I'm expecting that in the month of July, we're going to make that happen. Liquidity, David, you're going wild here, buddy. When liquidity provider for Link? Will you find me a qualified liquidity provider that actually provides liquidity and doesn't just wash trade into my book? And I'll sign a contract with them tomorrow. So we're looking. We have a few possible prospects. As soon as we find somebody and we can cut a deal that makes sense, then we'll get it up there. And we're looking. Chris Summers, why not code that? Why not code the part that allows people to see the exchange without login? Already being done. Will be on the front end website, already in progress. And then later use that code when the new website exchange. When choose to delay this when it's simple and fast to be done. It is being done, Chris. And I know, look, I don't take this the wrong way, right? But everybody and their grandmother, literally, grandma, emailed me about this. Everybody and their grandma was like, I want to withdraw XCM off the exchange. Please, when is it going to be minted? All this virtual trading. I just want to put it in my Ledger wallet. And we did it. And in the first month, we had 12 people make withdrawals out of 7,120 something. We had a bunch of people saying, when margin trading, when margin trading, I really want to trade on margin. I really want to trade on margin. We launched it. 1% of those people actually got in and used the platform for the first 2 weeks. So I'm not saying that we don't want to do these things, because we definitely want to do these things. But we need to do these things in time, and we need to make sure that our team is focused on the right tasks. And we take the priorities. So that doesn't mean we take every priority that maybe everybody individually thinks is a priority. But we do what we do internally, and we get a list, we get a priority list, and we follow it. So it's coming. It's actually in progress now. Front end is in progress with access to the Go dashboard, to all the platforms, no login. Axel mentioned the Gatwick Express app. Oh, fucking A, Gatwick Express. By the way, I got charged for 6 tickets on the Gatwick Express. I used one of them. One. Yeah. So, yeah. Fucking Gatwick Express. Jeez. See, now I'm pissed. I don't even know if I can finish the AMA now. And Gatwick Express. Express, too. They should call it the Gatwick slow as shit. Okay, what's your opinion on decentralized exchanges? Do they offer any useful service? Yes, they offer a useful service. Guys, the guy that needs the keys just rolled into the complex here. I'm literally going to run outside. I'm going to give him the keys. Might take 5 minutes max, and I'm coming back. So you're going to see a fucking window here for about 5 minutes. Hang on tight. I'll be right back. Hey guys. All right, that turned into quite a mission. They drove by the place where I was. I had to walk like 400 meters to find them. Then we had to walk and find the place they were staying. This place is kind of like a maze. Found the place where they were staying, got them inside, walked back. So did that in my socks. And for those who maybe don't believe, that's my sock. You see, that's good. There you go. So anyway, mission accomplished. Our head of legal, Ingvar, is safely in his unit, getting ready for tomorrow. Okay. I didn't climb in the window. I did come through the front door. Had a security thing on the window, so had to take the long way. So let's see. What did I miss? These guys were typing quite a storm here. Hold on. I'm trying to find okay, so my opinion on decentralized exchanges. That's where I left off for John K here. I think decentralized exchanges are probably the future, but not in the current iteration where they sit now. They're too slow. Unfortunately, regulation and decentralization doesn't really work all that great in the finance industry yet. I think a hybrid is probably what's going to take off the most, at least in the more near future, which will be basically a centralized exchange that allows custody, where you don't actually have to, a non-custody centralized exchange, basically. That's it. Where your crypto sits on some type of hard wallet, some type of multi-sig, either hard or cold wallet that you control. And basically your account is debited or credited based on your trading history every X amount of minutes or hours. And that's it. But I do think at some point, decentralization is great. And it's great for many industries, but for finance, especially regulated finance, it's going to be difficult to go full decentralized. It's not going to work out that well. Any news on TAM? Yeah. Also, as I mentioned, it's one of the things that we're working on right now. It's going to change its structure a little bit, but overall it's the same product. But yes, it is being worked on. I think we're looking at 8 to 12 weeks for TAM. Can we rename XCM to forehead coin? Nice one, Matt. I don't know, because that forehead is only four digits, and my forehead is going to get gradually bigger here, guys. So we would have to add on ticker symbols. So it'd be like forehead with one E, then forehead spelled head, HEAD. Then we'd have to have like forehead with like 2 E's, 2 A's. And eventually the ticker symbol is just going to be too long, and no one's going to really recognize it. So I think we'll leave it as XCM for now. We could always create the forehead token later, though. Maybe that could be our equity coin sometime in the future. What do you think? Forehead equity? Anybody want equity in the forehead? Better buy now, because the price is going to skyrocket. Still considering the gas tank solution to visualize the burn. Not sure I like it, but I'm not the one to take the call. Yep, still in the consideration pool, so to speak. We'll see if it comes to fruition. Did you mention at one point you're providing your own investment in CM? I've provided my own investment in CM already, guys. I put up about $250,000 initially, along with one of our other investors, Evan. I'm sure you guys know Evan. He floats around here every now and again. And for the ICO. And I still had that, so I already put up money. And yes, I will put up more money. That's for sure. News on that is just that I'm waiting to have some capital to come through from another business I'm involved in. Just not liquid yet, but we're getting there. And that was a paper-based ticket from the ticket machine. Yeah, that's the one I used, Axel, was the paper-based ticket from the machine. But I ended up getting charged for 6 other tickets. So I actually bought 7 tickets. And then on the way back, we drove a taxi, which we got late and then missed the flight. So didn't use that return ticket either. So awesome, yeah. Royal absence. Okay, so if somebody wants the shirt, because somebody's feeling weird. I did not duck to smoke some meth. I just would have done it right here on air, no shame, so people are seeing things move. Minting was for listing on CMC, among others. Well, we minted not just to list on CMC, actually, but yeah. Serbian man with a knife. Binance hit squad. Yeah. I didn't see those guys outside. They probably following me though. Beautiful windows. He's outside telling the driver about how he hates Gatwick. Yeah. I'm gonna fucking hate Gatwick. Jesus Christ. Actually didn't get locked out. So Jay Hook saying I should shave my head. I mean, for what? Like, it's pretty much already there. You know, it's kind of like when you have a garden where the grass is kind of fucked up, you know, but you don't want to just put cement in your backyard. You know, I mean, you might only have a few patches of grass left, but you trim them, you keep them nice, you get some flowers around the edges, you know, whatever. But you don't just go straight concrete in your backyard. You still want to have some grass, right? So I'm working on, you know, I know there's not much left, you know, I know it's obvious, but you know, I'm just trying to keep a little bit of grass in the garden, bro. That's all. Slipped on a terrace. Now terrace is this way. I went that way, but no. Okay, CR. Hi, Kevin. I'm here since CICO, and I've always believed in your product. However, as some growing concerns, information about CM news updates is scarce on the internet. Will hardly show any results. There are very few coins listed. You stated in your last two AMAs repeatedly that CM is low on funds. Your volume is far from generating a profit. Therefore, how do I know that CM will even make it through the next 2 or 3 months? Okay, we've discussed this actually, CR. Hopefully you're still here, but we've discussed this actually a few times. So, look, it will be here. If we have to scale down to me in my socks for a few months as we bring in a ticket to get everything back online, that's what is, well, it's what I do every day. It's basically, you know, aside from my family, it's my life. It's what I wake up and do every morning. It's what I think about every evening. Aside from my family, it's just, you know, that's the type of person I am. So I don't give up. I don't throw in the towel. And if, you know, we need to scale back and we need to do different things, if I need to pump some money in, if I need to do something, then it just gets done. That's it. Simple as that. So news is scarce. Well, because look, there's kind of a catch-22 here, right? So we can push out lots of news, right? But that may bring us more traffic than right now we even want to handle. Not because we can't handle it, but because there's two types of ways to run a business. There's the type of that you just kind of go all out cowboy style and you see what happens. You may fail miserably. You may have immense success, but it's not even a 50-50 shot. It's probably 5 to 95% you'll fail. 95% you'll probably fail, 5% you may win, but you may win big, right? So you can take that gamble. Then there's those that scale into that success. And that's what we're doing, guys. That's what we're doing, which means I don't want to release 15 things for news, get a bunch of new clients, have some type of shortfall, whether it's a bug, whatever it is. That's almost inevitable to happen in some way, shape, or form. Mainly we don't have a big QA team. We're not Google, we're not Microsoft, we don't have 10,000 guys in the QA team. Even those guys, when they release stuff, have bugs, you know. Apple has bugs, Google has bugs, Microsoft has bugs. We all know what happens, you know, when one of those things come out and then all of a sudden you have like Streamgate and, you know, whatever nonsense, right? And everybody goes ballistic and et cetera. There's class action lawsuits filed. So we need to make sure that we can handle the growth, which means for now, as we're small and we're going through an equity round and we're raising funds, we're having success, guys. Our curve is going quite nice. Yeah, we're not profitable yet. Yes, we still have a ways to go before we're self-sustainable. But we've gone month on month between 100 and 400% gain in terms of amounts of clients, in terms of revenue, in terms of many different metrics. So, you know, if you continue on that path, guess what, guys? We get to self-sustainability quite quickly. We just have to get there, and we will get there. Whether we have to scale back, we hit a few speed bumps, etc., then that's what we do, right? You just have to. You always prepare for the worst, right? And when the worst doesn't happen, guess what? It's smooth sailing because you've already prepared for it. Yeah, I tried to get the keys, guys. Anyway, I already told the story. I exit. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, Mr. Kevin Copperfield, very good. Forehead withdrawals. Well, take it in, boys. Take it in. Take a picture. It lasts longer. You know. I was walking outside of my socks, though. That's a good call. That's a good call. Okay, can you sing me a song? It's my birthday. All right, Marnix. Well, I'm not a singer by trade. In fact, I think if I started singing, you guys would probably pay me to stop. That might actually be a good way to raise funds. Actually, I could just travel around the world and basically give away free tickets for people to hear me sing, and then lock the doors. And if they wanted to leave, charge them €100 each. Probably raise the money we need with just a couple shows. That's actually a good idea. But anyway, happy birthday to you, buddy. So happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Da, 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 da. Happy birthday to you. There you go. So guys, any more questions? It's roughly 12:38 in the morning here. Roughly. I'm glad I was able to get this in. Probably not going to get to the Reddit questions today, guys, but we'll knock that stuff out next week if we have to. You guys can always tag me on Telegram. You know that. I'm going to be all day tomorrow at the event. I'll post a couple of videos if I can, a couple pictures here or there. I will also be the next day at this event. And then on Monday, I'll be flying back to Talon. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm traveling. Thursday, I'm traveling. Friday, I'm traveling. Back in Talon Friday evening. And then Saturday, we have an investor coming over to Talon. So it's going to be a busy week. But anyway, I'll still be jumping in a Telegram as usual. Follow-up question from CR. What are you going to do if you don't get any funding now? Well, we've been able to fundraise on a month-to-month basis since basically December of last year. And we've had some success in doing that because, well, here we are, right? So we'll continue to do that. We've had small tickets come in. We have big tickets that have been in discussion now for several months. These obviously take usually more time. It's not impossible, but it's much rarer to run into a seven-figure ticket that takes, one meeting, one pitch, and a few phone calls, and it's done. Those usually can take longer. They want to negotiate more, et cetera. If we, this month right now, for instance, there's a bit of a shortfall on what we raised, what we need to basically pay for basic operations. So we covered it, right? I threw in money. I basically, for instance, this event here, that obviously we had to pay a bit of money to get going for travel, for speakers, and for accommodations and venue, and we pitched in. I pitched in. That was me. It wasn't the company. It was me. All my travel expenses actually since basically December, January this year, I paid out of my own pocket. I haven't filed one expense report, nothing. I paid all of them, and I'll continue to do that. So it just gets covered, guys. It gets covered either by my own personal money, by one of the other shareholders. Evan, for example, when we did our Hong Kong event, he covered it out of his own pocket, et cetera. So it's and if we get to a point where, well, even our own personal funds become a little tight, obviously we have, we still have to make sure everybody's got to have their own bit of risk mitigation, right, guys? Then we scale back a bit. We cut some costs here or there. It's not, obviously we've cut costs to the point where I think that we're at a general level where we can maintain and we can scale from here to a certain extent, right? If we had to go a little lower, it may slow us down a bit on the scaling side, but it's what you do. You make sure that you're able to cover your costs, and that's it. And money will flow in. I guarantee you, one of these weeks coming up here, I will come in and say, we got a good ticket. No, we can slow down on the fundraising. We're funded for the next 6, 8, 10 months. We're starting. That's going to happen, guys. You will hear that come out of my mouth in the near future. I can guarantee you. Until we get there, we do what we have to do. What currency will margin posting payments be paid? Basically, it's going to function like margin lending, as far as I'm concerned. So, or as far as look, these talks, guys. I am the CEO. I have my nose in everybody's business for the most part, at least a little bit. But I don't sit in every conversation. I like the Steve Jobs line, right? You don't hire people that you think are capable of doing brilliant people, or people you think that are capable of doing a job, and then micromanage the shit out of them. That's just stupid. If you want to micromanage people, hire people that are fucking stupid, pay them like, shitty wages, and then micromanage them, right? Why pay people good wages and take the time and the effort to find people that you think are actually good at what they're doing, and then do their job for them? It doesn't make any sense. So I try to stay hands off in certain areas because I want these people to shine, because I believe they can shine. And I think over the last year and a half, we've shown that while the team may have been a little rusty and a little whatever at the beginning, they've shined, and they've shined in many areas. So margin posting will basically function as margin trading, meaning the same basic functionality in terms of how you can put up collateral in margin lending or margin trading, but the same way they're going to be able to post collateral in margin posting, right? So we've actually been here, well, ticker says an hour. Obviously, I haven't really been sitting here an hour because I was running outside of my socks. But all right, guys, any other questions before we didn't talk about the Facebook Libra, but nobody came out with a question. How much longer before banks approve next batch of crypto listings? It's a good question. If I knew the answer to that question, then I would probably buy a lottery ticket as well, because I'd be able to read minds and tell the future. I don't know. The last time when they finally told us what they wanted from us, and we rewrote our head of legal, Ingvar, wrote our opinion. We sent it out on a Monday. By Thursday, we had the approval. It took 4 days. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to take 4 days every time. Obviously, it hasn't taken 4 days this time. I do think, though, that it probably hasn't been fully, compliance probably hasn't looked at it. I think once they look at it, it's going to be a rather rapid decision, a day or two. It just matters when it actually, maybe it's sitting on somebody's desk, they haven't looked at it yet, but they will look at it. I'm going to ask for a follow-up tomorrow. I'll do the same thing early next week. I think next week we get some feedback. So we'll see. Probably by the end of the week. I know they have every Thursday, they have a little powwow inside the bank, compliance, risk, et cetera, et cetera. And I think we may hear something by then, but we'll see. Really don't know, Merrick, to be honest. But I'm shooting for next week. That's where we're shooting. We'll see where it goes. Anything else, guys? I know, like I said, they're going to film a video of this thing tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to have access to it or how long it'll take to have access to it. I'll try to film a few little videos involved in the 5-6 panels. So at least in those 3 panels, I can't, unless I'm going to selfie myself, I won't be taking videos and pictures of those. But when I'm off the stage, I'll try to snap a few here or there. My opinion on Libra, Jesus, the last question is always the one that hurts the most. I think, again, people in this industry blow things out of proportion like you would not believe. I think I don't want to say I predicted this, but I don't know how many times I said that Facebook and Google and Apple were all going to tokenize their infrastructures. Anybody that's been here since, whether it was the first AMA or in Telegram way before the first AMA, has probably heard me say that either in a voice message or here live, right? So it was inevitable, and it's inevitable that other companies are going to do the same thing. It is also inevitable that the Federal Trade Commission, that other government agencies inside of the United States are going to have a little pushback on this. There's a conspiracy theory floating around that Facebook is an arm of the US government. I would say that indirectly that's true, meaning that Facebook definitely provides information to the US government, 100%. It definitely helps out in lots of different ways, the US government. They're not owned by the US government. The US government doesn't hold shares in Facebook, but definitely Facebook indirectly helps the US government. So I guess that's indirectly true. The point is that they're not creating a cryptocurrency. They're not going against Bitcoin. They're not creating, all they are doing is creating basically almost like a depository receipt of fiat currencies. And they're doing that to provide easy settlement and easy payment processing and easy remittance solutions across their entire ecosystem. So they're doing it. They're going to add some monetization vehicles they wouldn't have been able to add before because of regulation. Because of regulation, they don't hold, and because it's just more difficult. Now they're going to be able to do it in a way with partners that are paying $10 million each to be a partner with them. It's a pretty good idea, guys. But it's not crypto. It's just them let's say reinventing the current model of payment gateways, right? So you're going to have eBay and PayPal and all these guys basically creating a tokenized ecosystem where people will be able to buy things and sell things and remit money, all without actually remitting money, but remitting kind of a coupon that can be redeemed for money. Since there's already exchanges set up in the world, they don't have to be the regulated hand in each country to be able to redeem these things back to currency. They just have to be the issuer. So it's a great setup, guys. It's a great setup. It's not going to kill crypto, and it's not going to cause all that much benefit either. But I think the benefits the pros outweighs the cons here by a slight margin. And I wouldn't see it affecting Bitcoin price or anything like that. Though it could have an effect on things like Ripple. That's why Ripple went out and bought a piece of MoneyGram, for example, to try to get into the remittance market. It can have an effect on things like Stellar too, and other and Link to a certain extent. But overall, again, if you go back to, let's say, the 80s, and you asked what database was going to be the data, it's going to, everybody thought that everybody was on the side of the fence that there'd be one standard database in 10 years. There isn't, though. There's not one. There's MySQL, RapidMQ, blah, blah, all these different database modules, right? And that's how blockchain is going to be. It's going to be lots of different standards. And Libra might become a standard for something. Ripple might become a standard for something else. We're not there yet, guys. So everybody should kind of chill out when they see this type of news. Just because someone's first mover, second mover, third mover, they have a big company, they have a lot of users, doesn't necessarily mean they become the standard. Any plans to do interviews with leading YouTube influencers in crypto to get the word out? Willing, sure. I haven't reached out actively. To be honest, I don't even know who most of these guys are. So not again, maybe because I'm 42 and bald. I don't know, but so yeah, if they reach out and they have a decent following and actually asking decent questions, I am sure I'll jump in. Why not? Yeah, I'm going to get to bed right after this, guys. A lot of people in crypto are schizo. That's why they are right. Well, a lot of people in the world are schizo. Yeah. People overreact because they don't understand all the information, they don't get all the information, or they simply cherry pick the information, or they just read a headline, and they just don't understand the impact. So that's not just crypto, guys. That's everything. News on upcoming IEOs. Nope. Well, there is definitely news, but there's not news that, at least this news is not just CoinMetro news. It also is news of all these different companies, these 3, 4, 5, or maybe 6 companies that we have kind of behind closed doors right now. News will come. I think the first news is going to come by mid-July, roughly, on the first project. And we're still debating which one's going to be the first. So we're trying to figure out who has the right timeline and who's going to be ready the quickest. And there's kind of a toss-up between 2 different projects. Once we see which one it's going to be, we will drop some news. And I think it's going to come by mid-July. All right, guys, I think that's almost a full hour here. It's rolling in on 1 a.m. here locally. I got to get up around 8 so that I can go meet some of these guys. They're going to sit on some panels, some moderators. We got to talk some shop before we head over to the venue. We got one more question rolling in, so I'm going to take it. You introduced margin trading, and you are working on margin posting. How is this useful without any coin listings? This will hardly increase the volume. Well, I say that's probably incorrect. And that's coming from a bit of experience from FX, which is obviously a highly leveraged product. If I only offer Euro USD, for example, Euro USD is 80% of all traded volume in FX. That's at the institutional level combined with retail, upwards of 6 trillion a day. On the retail side, 400 billion a day, 80% Euro USD. If you look at the amount of liquidity that Bitcoin takes, it's roughly 50 to 60%. That means that just Bitcoin alone, with leverage, especially with higher leverage, can be massive amounts of volume. Look at BitMEX. Where do you think most of their volume sits? I think that the first step, look, first of all, anything illiquid is going to cause major risk on a margin platform, on leverage products. And everything in crypto is illiquid. But at least on the top 5, when you're talking about Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, blah, 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 you have a decent amount of liquidity. You have liquidity providers that have been around in other industries. They actually know how to provide liquidity, and the risk is minimal. However, as you break into those other coins, those other assets, those other tokens, the risk for negative balances and the risk for high volatility expands widely. So we need to start somewhere. We're not going to start with highly volatile assets. And to be honest, like I said, we had people asking and asking for Link and asking for Stellar and all these different things that we've already launched, but we don't see the volume yet. Right. So lots of people ask for things. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to use them. We know there's volume in the majors. We know there's less risk in the majors. It's the best place to start. Right. Plus, you need the platform before you put on the tokens. I think that if we just throw a token on another exchange platform, whether we're a bit cheaper and whether maybe our support is much better, but they don't know that because they haven't come to test us out. They're not just going to come based on that. But if we can offer multiple different services, and they also have this token coin, altcoin, whatever that I'm looking to trade, then they come and test out a few things and not just a basic trading platform. So I think it's a bit putting the cart before the horse. If we were to just try and list all these coins, we're definitely trying to list more assets, and we will list more assets, but we're a regulated entity. We act like a regulated entity, and we have to follow protocols. And one of those is passing these things through our banking partner. And unfortunately, that can take some time. API, well, volume will increase over time with the API, for sure. Will it increase day 1? Probably. Will it be increased by day 12? It'll probably not. Will it have a steady increase like everything else we've been doing? Yes. Will all those steady increases together get us to the point where we reach self-sustainability? Yes. So API is coming. It's definitely on the roadmap. And yes, it will increase volume. But again, lots of people ask for things, and when they get released, they don't necessarily use them because they just assume maybe everybody else is going to use them. So that's why they ask for them. I don't know. But it's coming, and I do think it's important. But again, we want to make sure that all the internals work, both on posting, both on trading, margin trading, and regular trading, all the different 3 platforms. Because once those APIs go out, you're talking about allowing people, obviously with a different skill set, to be able to trade at higher frequency, and we want to make sure that those trades are executed as they should be, and that nobody runs into any pitfalls. Volume will increase by the people altcoins will bring. Volume will be on BTC and ETH. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, and tapping in the communities is something we talked about since day one. We have ways to do that. We're launching different social ways to do that as well. Look, guys, it's a process. There's lots of little small pieces that are going to come out that are going to socialize the platform as well, that are going to help us to bring in some of those communities. It's one of the things we do every time we try to list something. One of the upcoming ones that we're waiting on to be listed, we already are in communication with their communities. So ready to roll on that one. So yes, it's all part of the process. It's all part of the plan. We weren't able to link up with any of the communities for the first 3 altcoins that we listed. We tried, weren't able to do it, but we've already hooked up with 1 from the second batch of 3. API listing will just kill the market if there isn't a lot of volume. Listing plus introducing, impossible to trade without a bot. It's not REST APIs or WebSockets, so we're talking about a little more standardized API for financial trading. We already have, guys, 2 or 3 actually different algo trading companies that are ready to roll with us with some decent size account balances from day one. Not only once API trading is online, but also when we launch our TAM product. So that's why we're focusing time on TAM as well. So look, we contrary to maybe what looks like from the outside, because you don't get all the information, we have a plan, and we are slowly but surely linking together all the dots to get that plan online. And obviously we think about volume just like you guys do. Obviously we think about lots of different things that you guys think about. Sometimes we don't talk about all of them, not because we don't want to be transparent, just because, well, it's lots to talk about. And unfortunately, sometimes we forget. And then there's other things that are just more, we're focusing on certain things. We don't want to give up all our plans before we launch these things. But we're thinking about all this stuff, guys. And we have, I just met the guys from one of the algo trading companies. They just raised some money, I think. And they have algos. They have guys that have been trading FX algos for years. I had a good talk with one of them the other day. We talked some shop about FX algos. It was quite nice while I was in London. These guys are going to be trading with us. There's 2 other groups. There's a group from my FX Pig clients as well. Does really good volume. They have systems that work. They make money 15% month on month at this point over the last few quarters. So it's exciting times to come, and we are pushing to get there, and we will get there. We just have to be a bit patient. That's all. All right, guys. So it's been good. Lots of interesting things to come, guys. Lots of news. It's 1 a.m. here in Montenegro. I don't know how late it is for you guys, but like I always say, it's already Saturday here. Spend some time with friends and family. Don't look at price. Buy some XCM. Trust me, guys, only good things to come, right? There will always be speed bumps in business. There will always be slowdowns. There'll be frustrations. But when you stick to something and you put your kind of heart and soul behind it, and you have a team that can support you, there's only one way you can go. Whether it takes more time or less time is irrelevant. There's only one way you can go. And I think we're definitely headed in that right direction. 1 a.m. actually over here, not p.m. Yeah, Axel, top 10. Too late. I couldn't do it. I should have wrote this down beforehand. I'll just leave you guys with that. I absolutely hate fucking Gatwick Airport. I think every app that's tied to every airline that's in there sucks. I hate Gatwick Express. It's a shit service. When you have to stand on a train for 30 minutes from an airport, it's a bit ridiculous. When the machine doesn't work, when you can't buy a ticket, then they charge you for 7 tickets. When you go to the airport and they tell you that the gate closed, they can't let you on the flight anymore, when they just check somebody in with like 17 fucking bags, and they're still putting the bags onto the plane. Obviously, they still have to get them there. They could check us in. They don't. And then we find out the plane gets delayed for 45 minutes, and they won't put us on the plane because they already printed the manifest. Because, you can't do that twice. Anyway, then you get another flight, and when you're trying to book the flight, you go to BA, they tell you it's 466 pounds each. It's online on the BA website for 177 euro. And you show it to them, and they say, that must be a mistake. You buy it and show it to them. They say, well, that's a mistake. So now I have a ticket. Then they try to sell tickets. Anyway, I hate fucking Gatwick Airport. End of story. Ridiculous day. One of the worst airports by far. If you work there, I'm sorry, it's not your fault. Well, it's somebody's fault. Maybe it's your fault, but it's, somebody's fault, but fucking horrible. Yeah. Local train. Yeah. Local train had about 9,000 people in every car, though. And the Gatwick Express only had 8,200. So, yeah, Krista at S Travel. Hats off to Krista at S Travel. She shaved the day at the end of the day, was able to get us 2 slots on the last flight to Dubrovnik, to Croatia today. So I had a legal. And his girlfriend could actually get on a flight. So hats off to her. Great job, Krista. And you'll get some more business from us. Yeah, Axel, I guess it was fun. Looking back on it, everything that sucks in life is always fun. 10 minutes or 10 days or 10 years later. But when you're in the middle of it, you just want to strangle somebody and, watch the life come out of their eyes or something. Nigel, yeah, I had a dinner next to Nigel Farage. The guy can hold a room. I'll give him that. His politics, well, whatever. You can like him or hate him, I guess. And I guess that's really the only way. You either like him or you hate him. But he can hold a room, and he's not a bad speaker. And I really had to urinate when he was talking, I got to be honest. And I was going to blow. And the guy finished his speech, and I stood up real fast, started clapping like a standing ovation. And then everybody else got up. So I started the standing ovation for Nigel Farage. And then I ran out of the room to the bathroom. But when I came back in the room, he kind of smiled and winked at me. So I guess he thought I either really liked what he was saying, or he was laughing because I ran to the bathroom. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it, guys. I gotta run. Let's pick this up. Did you wear the sunglasses? At the dinner, I had them with me. I think I might have had them on at some point, but no, I don't think so. Plus, obviously, I didn't call ahead, so they served me fish and like carpaccio. I couldn't eat anything. I had like one piece of bread and like 16 glasses of water. Hence the bathroom rush. Then the dessert came, and it was like milk ice cream on top of a milk tart with like a milk cherry on top with milk dressing, and it was like insult to injury. Only 100 miles to Chicago. Okay, Blues Brothers references aside, I gotta go, guys. It's late here, and I'm going to bed. So thank you guys for coming, and see you guys on Telegram. Don't create too much ruckus. Buy some XCM. I want to see it at 11 cents tomorrow, guys. Anyway, this is not investment advice. Don't buy whatever I'm supposed to put at the bottom here. It's too late. I don't care. Anyway, just between friends, right? Yeah. Dreaming of Gatwick. If I dream of Gatwick, by the way, CR, I'm gonna find out your email address, and I'm gonna spam bomb you, because I think you just ruined my evening. Anyway, you guys are great. See you guys next week. See you guys on Telegram. Tag me with questions. I'll catch them probably tomorrow evening once we're done with this production tomorrow. And see you guys. Great weekend.